Hey everybody, Kyle here. I'd like to talk about those Brap videos that I've spent the last 3 weeks or so posting automatically. Back in 2005 to 2007, I was living in a house in Scarborough. In the basement of this house was a room that had almost a shag carpeting floor. It had drop tile ceiling, and the walls themselves were actually covered in fabric, and it was an irregular pattern, not a flat wall. So it had incredible acoustic properties that are too good not to be put to use. Brad and myself were both interested in sonic arts, which I wouldn't call it music because I've listened to music and what we were doing doesn't really resemble that, but it's more the recording arts side of sound production. So we decided to make use of this room and have some fun with it and make noise and see what we could come up with. We were both huge Skinny Puppy fans, and Skinny Puppy did something called brapping, which is where you release all your inhibitions and just react and work instinctually. You don't really pre-plan things or come in with an agenda, you just go and do. Now, Skinny Puppy used certain external chemical influences. We weren't really particularly interested in that, so we used severe exhaustion to get ourselves to a more automatist working space. So I think it was Monday I had a late class and Tuesday I had an early class, so I would just pull an all-nighter. Around 40 hours is when my mind would start to... Tuesday nights, I believe, were Brap nights usually. And then, one glass of wine when you haven't slept for 2 days hits you like 4. So I was usually in a good state of mind. The setup we had was between 3 computers. We didn't have a lot of money, so even at the time, they were old. I would do more filtering, and Brad would play on the keyboard and actually make the notes, and I would turn them into something. The technology was far too rudimentary back then to record and play and filter simultaneously. So a lot of the times we might have Brad performing a rather computationally expensive VST on his computer, and we would send the audio signal to that, and then I would run that through Audio Mulch on my computer, and then I would run that on Audio Mulch would tax my computer, so I would run the sound out on that to the laptop that was running Goldwave, I believe. So Audio Mulch, Fruity Loops, and Goldwave were the 3 pieces of software. I don't think I knew about Audacity back then. A lot of the times we might work in 5-minute chunks and we would kind of send things back and forth. Other times we would actually get a small audience and do a little live Brap. I've posted some of them. I've tried to make the visuals relate to that, so one Brap is distinct from the other visually when you look at the little channel icons. What else do I want to say about our Braps? So I recently came across the files. I okayed it with Brad, so I've been uploading them all to YouTube. I just realized my hand is in a very awkward place here. I should have positioned that a little better. There we go. At first it was just us playing with stuff live, but eventually we would bring more loops and more pre-recorded noise into the mix. I don't really know what we're going to do with this. Brad and I haven't really had a chance to sit down with each other and discuss what to do with this, so I've posted the vast bulk of it online already. There's one little guitar riff that hasn't been published yet. Okay, there it is. So I think at some point, Brad and I are going to sit down together, listen to all of these, and make some notes and maybe do a discussion video or a wrap-up or an overview. We might even rearrange some elements into something new. I posted them. I haven't really done much with them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I figure rather than sitting on a hard drive of mine waiting to eventually crash and be lost forever, at least this way it's somewhere else. This is the kind of noise I was making 12 years ago. And if you listen to the kind of stuff I'm making now, aside from being a lot cleaner, because it's not getting sent through countless cheap audio cables and being recorded on consumer-grade sound cards 3 times over, so it has cleaned up a little bit. It's a lot less noisy, which, when you listen to an A-B comparison, it kind of makes me think that a lot of that industrial charm that seems lost is just tape hiss and noise.